she will ignore. This is where we have come. And what does it say also about our political terrain, how people decide to do some of the things that they do? I think I'd like to start with the old lady with us. Doc, what do you say? Kennedy Japan says this is, he was just joking. Let's just hear him briefly and then we'll come to hear you. He says he's joking. Let's hear what he said.
You know, hypocrisy. Usha Nana Oyeleta. Organize the tier 20 cities, say, Makasamatia, Charlotte Saintino, Omunkoya demonstration. Now, this same woman now is going around asking petitions. A Chief Justice Onya Oba. Also, Makasa Nenya, near almost can't enye. But why apologize? I didn't make my apologize. I didn't my angle no crowd if I name it time. Angle no define an name time. But for 7-1 can yes and I know. I did 7 kind. More media for so the more media for Mona Mube say Ghana. There be a politicians. Master and some me car that day. Where crowd ye? I was joking. Me carry Adam Cottonasi. Now Oma pick a Hong Kong. You see, and what this country? You were joking. Yeah, but who made me a defender easily? I don't want to go there. What's your Charlotte? Would you be happy? I'm bold enough to say sorry to Charlotte. I have nothing against it.
Okay, so that's Kennedy Japan. He's supposed to be an honorable member of the Parliament of Ghana. What do you say?
I say that some jokes are too expensive. And I think that joke was not a joke. It was expensive. And I think the Honourable Member of Parliament should have known better. And I find it's not unfortunate, it's irresponsible when, even in supposed jest, when a woman is appointed to a position of authority, it's never really deemed as on merit. It has to be for anything other than merit, than maybe her looks, or sexual favors, and it's really getting tiresome. So personally, it can't be a joke. At the end of the day, when the comment was made, it wasn't indicated that it was a joke. And it certainly, if it was a joke...
He said that the EC boss got her job because of sexual favors, and then even suggested that he could defend it if the time came.
Yes. So yes, even in that excerpt, which I think that then clearly it wasn't an apology, it was more of a defense of what was said previously.
He has not apologized, that's why.
Yeah, it wasn't an apology. And as I said, I just think that those kinds of comments, if you have reason to believe that the person did not get their job based on merit, and you have evidence as such, then present it via the right procedures and then go about it accordingly. However, if it's just 1 minute a joke, next minute we don't know what really the point you're trying to make, then please, I think people should refrain from that. And I think also as well, as a society, we should not encourage it. Yeah, there's been other instances where women who have held particular public offices, yeah, have been held to various sexist comments and ridicule, and depending on which political persuasion they're deemed to be, then the side that they appear to be on condemn, and then the other side at best stay silent, or at worst even support the offenders. I mean, really, this is to the detriment of our society.
The women's groups who were campaigning, including the gender minister that he mentions in this clip that you heard a while ago, who were campaigning and seeking a retraction and an apology of those comments, and also seeking some sort of discipline in Parliament. Should they continue?
Oh, I think, yeah, but I think we've not got to make it a partisan issue. At the end of the day, what's wrong is wrong. It's wrong if the EC is being held up for those, is being ridiculed as far as I'm concerned, for being in that position. And it's also wrong if any person, I know Honourable Ursula Owusu has also, and hers were not only verbal attacks, it was physical attacks. So for me, yeah, everybody has a right to protest. And who am I to say, oh, you shouldn't? Of course, it is your right.
Right.
But I think we should not look at it on more partisan lines and really look and say, this is wrong.
Right. FIDA women lawyers, they issued their statement last week, and their statement was particularly on all of these things, even though it came on the back of the attacks on the Chief Justice. What do you also say, particularly, how should we take it?
Samson, first of all, good morning to our cherished viewers and listeners today. My first time coming on this platform. I'm excited at it. Let me also say good morning, particularly to Nana Kumia. You was trying to find out who the NDC rep is. I am. Now, Samson, on this
you were
issue,
joking.
yes, I know,
Sorry.
right? and Samson, it's important to make this point that this particular comment by Kenny Japan was made incidentally on the platform or the campaign launch of a female parliamentary aspirant. That woman has been the subject of the same irresponsible sexist comment by Mr. Maxwell Kofi Juma, where he makes serious allusion to the fact that the Asokwa parliamentary seat is not like AMA, where I do not want to repeat those inappropriate
You are not
words
allowed to repeat them here.
Absolutely. In fact, I will not. Now, so one would say that ordinarily a woman who had been the subject matter of this sexist comment should be the one to call Ken to order on that same platform to say that, Ken, don't go there. Charlotte Osei is obviously a woman who has done well for herself. Today, she is the Electoral Commission chairperson. She comes across as a lot of role model for several of our young women, our sisters all over, including her ladyship, the Chief Justice. As you are aware, the Chief Justice started as a police woman, became, or in fact, she is one person who has gone through all the ranks to become what she is today. She is somebody that ordinarily we ought to be celebrating, save these reckless comments directed at her, comments that have also been equally condemned by all well-meaning people that I know. It's important to say that today we are having a situation where Kenny Japan is having to say that those reckless comments made against the Electoral Commission chairperson were, in his words, he was joking. But you can see that in the same, recording or speech, he makes the point that he's ready to defend a joke. I do not understand what he really meant by I would defend whatever it is. But you see, I'm not surprised that we've gotten to this. You are aware, Donald Trump today says one thing, the next time he considers that to be sarcastic, he makes very serious comments. The next time he comes across and says, no, I was joking. We are having a lot of these Trump, attitudes around. It speaks generally to people, their temperaments, a lot more about what they think generally about people outside themselves. It's irresponsible. We should not encourage it. I would not do it. I've been in class with some of the finest ladies. In fact, some of them were the ones topping us in class. So on what day should I, after all is said and done, say that that person's rise to whatever the person is because of sexual favors? It's completely irresponsible. And I'm surprised that the National Women Organizer of the NPP sought to justify, rationalize the commentary by Kenny Japan by saying that the BNI should even go ahead to investigate it. Today,
well, she's not alone. There were other people within the party that sought to justify it.
Absolutely.
Nana, what do you say? There are others who really felt that the party should have officially issued a statement condemning this and discrediting itself from Ken.
Well, thank you, Subs. Let me wish our audience a good Saturday morning, and also my co-panelists, particularly Dr. Jemima, whom I haven't seen in a long time. Yes, this commentary about women in particular is regrettable. It is not the best. Unfortunately, it has been a feature of our political discourse. It's cut across political parties. I remember people making derogatory comments about women. Esla Usu has come under those kinds of attacks. I think there was this lady actress also who came under very derogatory attacks from NDC people.
You're talking about Lydia Fossey? Or is it
so.
Yvonne else?
One of them.
Because of the vigil that
yes, they do some
yeah,
thing
she
came under
organized.
very, very derogatory attacks. You have the Electoral Commission also coming under derogatory attacks and so on. So these attacks have cut across the political divide. I don't think the political parties have done enough in terms of reining in our people, the two major political parties. I don't think we've done enough. There's a lot more that we can do. It's obvious that Ken Ajipon, in the clip that you played, it was obvious that he's regretted his commentary.
Really?
It's obvious. And I would have wished that he just would have done the honorable thing and just apologized.
He suggested right there that he would defend that joke.
Yeah, but then he says that, if you heard him in Tree, he says that, oh, this comment that I made is just a joke, and I'm surprised that of all the things that I said, this is the one that has been carried. It's some admission that, oh, I regret these comments and the way it's been carried. But he should then have gone ahead and just apologized, having recognized and that this is just a joke. I didn't mean it. Just apologize. But when you go on to say, oh, I can prove it, then
has the party found it necessary to urge him to apologize, at least if you are not issuing a statement?
The party has engaged him on the matter. The party has engaged him on the matter, yeah.
To the extent that he should apologize?
I'm saying the party has engaged him and the party has told him what the party thought of the comments, and the party has urged him to do the honorable thing.
Which he hasn't done.
Obviously, he hasn't done it.
And
but
he will not be suspended from his conduct, like Tarzan
well,
and others were suspended.
Those things have to be triggered. I mean, you can't just get up and suspend somebody. It has to be.
Okay.
Sorry.
Petition.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody
Formal
has to petition. Somebody has to make a form. So,
okay.
If my brother here, who's in the NDC, what's his name again? Tamaklo can petition.
Oh, he can do it.
I'm not a member of the NPP.
He says orchestration, so you can orchestrate the petition.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm saying that before anybody, some official action is taken, it must be triggered.
Right.
And,
right.
But there's no doubt that these comments against women, I mean, particularly when you try and tie in the achievements of women to that, it's terribly unfortunate.
Right. What does the CDD think, particularly if you are familiar that this had compelled the feeder, to issue a statement? I'm not saying this alone, because they issued a statement on all the other, disparaging comments that were made about women who were making strides in society, and that is sort of suggests that this discourages, a lot more women, and we are seeking to have more women participate in the political space.
I think, thank you very much, Samson, and good morning to your viewers. I think that for CDD, a lot of these matters worry us a lot, right? Because you go in there and when you examine our own political space, there is this attempt to encourage women to participate in the political process. We talk about inclusion and so on and so forth. And so to have women who have become role models, who are examples for us to show to other women and say, look, you can aspire to these positions, and for them to come under such morally irreprehensible comment, I think that is unfortunate. And so for us, we condemn it in no uncertain terms. We think that it's not good, it's not healthy for our democracy, it's not healthy for our effort in terms of promoting women inclusion and participation in the political process. But more so, we think that we can have a discussion about how effectively are you delivering your mandate, right? Without necessarily those comments. If we think that, for example, relative to the EC boss, she's acting in a manner that we disagree with her, we can have concerns. We can share those concerns and have those discussions. But to just say that, oh, your actions are informed or influenced by the fact that this is how you got to your position, we think that is
and what do you say about what the parties do officially to their members who do these things?
It's worrying. It's worrying. Sometimes you would expect the parties to come out quite strongly on these matters and to say, look, we don't think that what our member has said is condemnable, be forthright and come out on it. But a lot of the times, the way our politics is structured. It's structured in such a manner that acting in a certain way you think would bring some tensions within your own party, because there are obviously for some parties some untouchables. There are some that you can indoor have conversation with them and say, look, do A, B, C, D, whether they do it or not, relative to what Nana is saying currently with Ken Japan. Yes, the party had met him in closed and said, look, we think that this is not good. So go ahead and do the right thing. He hasn't done the right thing. What then would you do as a party? Are you then saying that collectively you accept what he has said? And so those are important issues that for me, for parties, we need to have positions. And there are women in those parties. They ought to be strong enough on some of these matters and come up.
He just told you about the women's leaders actually defending it.
Yeah, so that's the problem. That's the problem with the way we've structured our parties.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, gentlemen and lady, for your preliminary take on that issue of Kenneth Japong and his statements. I had said one thing here and got crucified all over the place, but that's my job. That's my job.
Occupational hazard.
Occupational hazard. I take it in good faith. Now, let's see if we can deal with the CDD's research first, because you are here, and then we can move on with the other issues that we have to discuss. The CDD has done a research, and if you have followed news this week, the research basically says that 70% of the respondents to that research, and what they had to say about the performance of the administration is very terrible. And we're talking about a sample size of 2,400, but they use that in a way that is representative of the country, in the way normal researches are done. And this research was conducted in 100
Club 100 Awards 2016 under the theme Manufacturing Steering Ghana's Development, to be held on the 19th of August 2016 at the Kempinski Gold Hotel. Special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani. Look out to vote for the Club 100 Company of the Future. Register and book your tickets to the event. Call 0302-665-125-9. Platinum sponsors B5 Plus Limited, New Ghana, Svani Group, Multimedia Group, and MTN. The Club 100 is an Ghana investment promotion